It's weird to think that we've been through 2 to 3 years of CK3 content and we are only just getting our second expansion. Yet, in the past few dev diaries, I think that it is safe to say that not only have the developers been cooking to my clickbaiting chagrin, but also that the expansion itself, Tours and Tournaments, which I frequently mispronounce to be fair, has far deeper mechanics than initially thought. One of the biggest criticisms levied by PDX fans in the initial press release for the expansion was the fact that the trailer gave off very heavy RP vibes. Many fans, myself included, were hoping to see a full expansion pack centered on Greece, with some even hoping for an expansion-sized Republic rework. Nevertheless, this current dev diary, which goes big into events, is a lot more promising compared to some of the early Royal Court dev diaries, and there is a lot to pick apart. Dev Diary 121, An Active Life, seems to be hellbent on taking a hammer to events and completely reworking them in typical Paradox fashion. The first new piece of information that might catch your eye is the UI rework for the Activities menu. Not only is the menu layout less cluttered, but activities are now ranked in terms of their significance to the realm. One of my favorite tidbits, however, has to be the cute little icons that the art team has added to each of the activity options, and they are pretty cute. It really gets you in the mood when it comes to plotting extravagant, murder-themed dinner parties for your least favorite vassals. I like that Paradox is throwing free-to-play players a bone here with the UI reworks because being able to keep track and plan ahead for events seems like it will be a much easier task now that the notification system has been improved. Additionally, you can track the phases of the activity/event as it progresses, so time management and awareness is going to be even more of an important skill, especially if you like to queue up intrigue-focused characters. One of the most impressive parts of this dev diary, in my opinion, is the new hunting event. Previously, hunts and feasts were great ways to rack up prestige depending on a bit of luck and personality traits, but now location is more important than ever before. Break out your TripAdvisor because hunting now seems to have its own Yelp-styled rating system based on the quality of the game present in a particular region or province. Smaller activities are usually confined to one location, while tours and tournaments can involve a ruler going through several different phases and potentially cross-country to mingle with the peasantry, and perhaps scout out some new prospects for their eugenics program. I appreciate that the devs are taking the time to bail out martial characters because previously it felt like they were solely focused on wars, and in the late game they typically lose value as you have a larger retinue and levy size. This gives me a bit of nostalgia for Holy Fury, where martial characters had new options via the prowess feature to prove their merits. Now, it seems like CK3 is trying to even the playing field and bring our axe-wielding maniacs up to snuff with more powerful attributes like stewardship, which is loaded to be fair. The next phase, wink wink, of events focus on picking which of your prospective guinea pigs will be joining your bloodbaths. When attending events, all characters, yours included, has an intent. For example, hunts have recreation, slay beast, murder, seduce, and befriend. As if there weren't already enough ways for your vassals to cuck you, the eternal battle against CK3 sexcapades continues. Intents like recreation cannot be failed, while seduce and murder are obviously not automatic guarantees. Plotting events and activities seem to be very similar to how the murder scheme works in both CK2 and CK3. The difference, aside from not having to kill people, obviously, is that you have to have a more vested interest in your guests and put in more effort to invite certain people to your parties. Unfortunately, activities also have relevancy hard-coded in, so you won't be inviting your arch-nemesis to a 4-year-old's playdate. Honored guests, however, at events like weddings, are the main focus, and the activity does not begin until they arrive. This means that timing and location, above all else, are more important than ever when planning your next bonanza. One of the best parts about DLC for Paradox games is that free features tend to get a few overhauls here and there, and I have to say that the artwork for several of the revamped events, such as hunts, is spectacular. Specifically, the artwork for falconry and legendary hunts is some of the best I've seen for the game so far, and the amount of personalization that this provides to get players immersed should help a lot more for involved CK3 players. Success chance for hunts ties back to making martial characters more relevant and hunts as an expansion onto the scheme system. Not only does location play a role, but titles like Master of the Hunt are not completely useless as these characters provide aptitude bonuses. Hound pens are a new building that is very well rounded. They provide levies, a small tax increase, reduce hostile raid time for those pesky Vikings, and, to top it all off, significantly increase hunt success and sighting chance. But what is hunt sighting? Sightings, similar to the White Stag in CK2, occur when you've hired hunters or have a talented master of the hunt at hand. The min-maxing ambrosia that we all care about, prestige, scales based on how many hunts you've gone on and the size of prey that you are felling. This also comes with its own risks because a big kitty isn't going to just roll over for you. Fascinatingly, beasts are determined based on a multitude of factors such as location and terrain type, so unfortunately no mooses in the middle of Africa. Just like Fate of Iberia, Tours and Tournaments is taking on an exciting new approach with the Hunter trait. Unless I've developed retrograde amnesia, I've never seen a lifestyle trait that has its own path, and I think that this is incredibly exciting for modders and game development. While the details are vague, it looks like some of the newer and revamped traits are going to have level up requirements, which will make characters have more agency in how they develop who they are. Slowly but surely, CK3 is becoming the best JRPG yet. Pilgrimages, similar to hunts, are also getting a big rework for the upcoming expansion. Their types, pious, worldly, and Hajj, all have different end goals. One critique I have to levy about this is that Muslims seem to be getting their own religious pilgrimage type, but Hindu and other Eastern faiths are let off the hook completely, which is a shame. The different pilgrimages that characters go on seems to be much more personal and serious than what some of the hunts have you up to. Some of the locations that you will have to go to are incredibly far away depending on where your character starts off at. So keep that in mind, as your current location and what you want your end goal to be in terms of piety and reputation matter a lot. Finally, the Pilgrim trait is receiving a small touch-up similar to what has happened with the Hunter trait, where it now levels based on how many pilgrimages you've undertaken. This trait seems to be incredibly useful for pleasing your more zealous vassals, as it has an opinion modifier tied to it. Overall, there are some amazing changes coming to CK3 tours and tournaments, and I think the event system will go a long way in adding more flavor and immersion to the game. I think we've long had this argument about a balance between mechanics versus RP flavor, where with this new system, there seems to be a compromise between the two, which I greatly appreciate. I've spoken about this earlier, but it's heartwarming to see more effort put into revamping older mechanics for players that have played the game from the start, and I can't wait to see where they take things for the next dev diary in the future, because so far they have been incredibly beefy. I think it's also time that we come clear about the intentions for the channel, and by come clear, I just really want to discuss with you guys what you aren't looking for in 4 Extraordinaire. Initially, I started it up as a one-off channel that was just covering and bringing to light some of the City Lights mods, which is kind of funny because it was not very popular at the time. It's completely blown up now for Civ 6. It obviously expanded far past that, far more than I could ever hope. I never foresaw myself getting 1,000 subscribers, and I really hope to continue this journey with you guys as long as you guys keep watching. But I think for that to happen, I really appreciate any critique. One of the biggest videos I've had so far, perhaps one of my biggest videos, I think, has been some of the CK3 coverage too. So I really enjoy the game. I like to see where it's going, which is one of the biggest reasons why I make these videos in the first place. So please, if you can, give me some feedback on the more popular videos. But to be completely transparent, and I actually do mean this, I think some of my later videos, and even some of my earlier videos too, have been very dry, even drier than my humor, which is a very hard feat to accomplish. So I'm trying to stay away from my monotone voice. I know that is very, very hard for someone like me, but if you can, again, give me any feedback. It means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for commenting below, sticking together with me on this journey. Any of the other cliche things that I want to say at the end to wrap up this video. But I do really appreciate your guys' support, and I hope that we continue to see more productive dev diaries from CK3. And thank you guys so much for reaching out and watching the video. All right, peace.